The mother of a local man who was shot and killed by U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in the New Mexico desert says her son struggled with mental health issues.
She wonders whether he was in crisis during the deadly encounter back in April. We want to warn you that some of the video in this story is disturbing. Luke Moretti reports.
They shot him. You can't come back from that.
Village of Alden resident Kim Lewis has spent months trying to make sense of what happened to her son in April.
Hey, man, we're not trying to hurt you.
We really are.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
32-year-old Joel Inbody of West Seneca is seen in this U.S. Border Patrol body camera footage walking away from agents in the New Mexico desert. Only minutes later, he's shot to death after an agent approaches, trips and falls backward as Inbody swings a wooden club, striking him.
Clearly, he's not making rational decisions. You have to realize there's more going on here.
The West Seneca man had a history of mental health struggles. At the time he ended up in New Mexico, he'd been off his family's radar for about 12 days. After speaking with his counselor, his mother suspects that he may have been trying to get his life together by visiting familiar locations.
I said, does this make sense to you, like with the kind of diagnosis that he had? She said, yes, it often is that a person will go off on a journey more or less, I guess, to find themselves, you know, to try to figure some things out for themselves.
So what if he's going to walk out in the desert?
Attorney Tom Casey represents Inbody's mother. He traveled to the New Mexico location with a private investigator for a first-hand look at where everything unfolded back on April 2nd.
It just seems to me, if you collectively take all of that information together, how the hell could you not come to the conclusion there's something off with this kid? And yet, they never treated him that way. It was aggression, 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 and then shooting him dead.
But the Border Patrol version goes like this. Inbody failed to pull over after circumventing the agency's checkpoint, then did not comply with agents when told to get out of his vehicle. Drove away. They had to use tire spikes to blow his tires. Then he walked away when agents told him to stop. Swung a wooden club multiple times when confronted by agents, eventually striking an agent who fell down, not once but twice, prompting agents to fire their weapons. At one point in the body camera footage, agents see him holding a knife.
Hey, is that a knife?
Hey, what's wrong with you?
Hey, he's got a knife. He's got a knife.
In the video, there was never a knife in his hand, at least that I saw. He had the stick in one hand, and he had one of his shirts balled up in the other hand. Yeah. That was it.
The official Border Patrol news release makes no mention of a knife, only the wooden club. However, the body camera footage released by the agency references 2 knives found on his person.
And the medical examiner recovered 2 closed knives from his pocket during their examination.
Agents at the scene also discussed seeing a knife in his hands.
Dude, I thought he was gonna grab him.
He had a knife. Put it in his pocket, but when he got on top of you, I didn't know if it was
No, it was in his hand. I saw it.
I have to acknowledge they found 2 knives on him, and I believe they were both in his pocket at the time that they were able to finally search him when he was laying on the ground in the desert. Yeah.
Don't do this.
But I did not see any knives.
Police use of force expert Jerry Rodriguez also watched the video and says he didn't see a knife.
That's further backed up by the fact that the coroner found 2 knives folded in his pocket. He could not have the knives out and deployed and then put them back and fold them and put them in his pocket. That concerns me. The concern there is this an attempt to escalate this to deadly force without a visual? Or was it truly a perception that he may have been armed with a knife? That's big to me, because that changes things. If you have an individual with a knife, that's deadly force, and you would not approach him or her with a knife at hand because it could be very dangerous.
Kim Lewis says her son was compassionate, kind, and loving, and had recently been working as a paralegal and doing graduate work toward a doctorate degree. She's convinced that Border Patrol agents could have handled this another way before firing multiple rounds at her son.
They have overstepped. They have done things that are not okay. And if in fact the protocols and the rules that are in this agency allows this to happen, then there needs to be some change in those rules and those protocols, because this should never happen to another person.
According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the agents involved in the use of force were placed on administrative leave after the shooting, which is standard practice in cases like this. The incident is also undergoing an internal review, which includes the agency's National Use of Force Review Board. Luke Moretti, News 4.